Good morning. It is Tuesday. I have Cami here, which I said earlier before we came on. We were talking about you yesterday. Were your ears burning? Cami from Habitat for Humanity. Aaron Scar was here yesterday, so we were talking about homes, housing, and your name came up because Habitat has just recently selected?
A little bit ago.
Yeah. I feel like you talked about that before, but Habitat is filling a need in this community where you're helping people who may not be able to afford a home based on the general financial institution requirements, may not ever be able to own a home, and Habitat is helping kind of fill that need.
Right. We are essentially the only affordable, really looking at affordable home ownership. So we're proud of that, but more needs to be done.
Right.
So our job is also to connect resources, to connect with the community, to look at policy changes, to work, to just really create change to make the cost of home something everybody can afford.
Do you want to? Well, let's talk about your brunch, because that just happened on Sunday at Pacific Restaurant.
Yes. So we have one fundraiser a year. We do that intentionally because we really want to focus on our energies into our building program. So we do one fundraiser a year that helps put funds into our building programs. And this year, I just got the numbers and I'm just blown away by how much it's grown in just our community. So alone, just in the auction and then sponsorships was over $25,000. So that's, a few years back, it was about $9,000. So that kind of growth is just a testimony to the amazing support that our community is. We host it, Pacific Restaurant hosts the brunch. So it makes it just, of course, you want to go and eat brunch from Phil and Nelia.
Well, and they don't do that. They don't do brunches very often. No. It's not a regular thing that they provide. So it is a little bit special.
It is special.
When you can have an event that incorporates that. And do you remember, was it last year or 2 years ago? They started to do it.
Yes.
There were a couple weekends where they did it, and we went and it was so good.
Oh, it's just amazing. Everyone was like, this is the best food. Eric Sappington played music for us. So he always does a fantastic job. And the cool thing is now it's become this was our 4th annual. So it's always the first Sunday in December, which this year fell on the holiday weekend. And I'll tell you, about 3 weeks before the brunch, we had only sold 35 tickets. And I was everybody's out of town. Nobody's going to come.
No.
And then we had over 150 people. Then tickets just started to come in. It was
I'll
just
tell you
incredible.
what I have learned is that, and I do it myself, I don't generally, about 2 weeks out, within that last 2 weeks is generally where you get a lot of ticket sales or people RSVPing and saying they're going to come, because it's just hard to plan sometimes that far out when you don't know really what's going on, especially if it's a holiday weekend.
Right. We were so pleased. And Linda Hamilton, she's my office manager. She had a small group of people, but for the most part, she almost single-handedly got silent auction items valuing over $10,000.
That's awesome.
Just our community, I'm just blown away with the support and the generosity. And we had 3 of our partner families that got to attend the brunch.
Awesome.
And they all got to speak and just share a little bit of their story. And from that, this was, for most of them, it was the first time they've ever attended something where they really were able to see the community support.
Yeah, that's great.
And from that, one of our partner families, her name's Amanda, she actually was so inspired that she started her own Facebook page. It's called A Journey to Home Ownership, where she is just going to be posting all about her journey to home ownership with Habitat. And I got emotional watching one of her videos because it just reminds me why we do what we do. This is really changing lives.
Yeah, that's Amanda Nemai, right?
And it's Amanda Nemai, yes, but her name is Amanda Swift.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. And probably 10 years ago, she probably never thought that she would ever own a house.
Oh, her testimony is amazing. And we're actually going to have her on next time I'm here. She'll come and speak to you guys. She's really excited about looking at those policy changes too, making sure that other families like her are able to afford the cost of home. And that's just not happening. 1 in 6, this is a U.S. statistic, but 1 in 6 families are currently paying over 50% of their income on housing. And that's unacceptable. And we need to do something about it.
And I think that's a very true statistic for here. Like I said, Aaron Scar was in yesterday, and they have a housing study that's on their website, careinc.org. you can go to housing and then look at housing study. And I know that statistic is in there somewhere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know if it's 50% of our community, but it's too much.
It's too much.
And there's, housing, there's a housing crisis. And unfortunately, supply and demand, when there's a lot of demand and not a lot of supply, then housing prices go up, which creates even more of that void, that gap between actually being able to own a home and not being able to own a home.
Right. And one of the great things is not only do we have our home ownership program, this year we will house our 29th and 30th family.
Cool.
So Amanda and her family will actually be our 30th partner family that we've been able to either build a new construction home or renovate an already existing home for a family. So we are super excited about that. This year our project's 2 attached townhomes located right across from on 8th Street over by the health department. And they are going to be just an amazing neighborhood for these children to grow up in.
Sure. So let's talk about the home ownership program. Sure. There's so many questions I have.
Yeah.
So here, I'm just going to throw them all out, and then I know you'll cover them all at some point. How do you get properties? How does someone get involved? If someone has property that they want to donate, how do they do that? If someone's interested in becoming a homeowner, what are those requirements? Okay, go.
Sure. So property, we have been very blessed to have a partnership with the county where some of the foreclosed properties, mostly properties without homes, so just bare land, they donate those to us if they appear buildable. So that's how we've gotten the majority of our property, which just is incredible. And I know that that's a blessing, and I don't take that lightly because I know there's other habitats that are not getting that. Then this particular property that we're building on now, the 2 attached townhomes, was actually donated by Wells Fargo. So that was like Christmas Day when I got the email, hey, we've got a property. And they sent it out to all the nonprofits in Tillamook. And I called them back right away. I'm like, we want it.
Yes, right. It's one of those, you got to jump on it as soon as you see it.
And the cool thing is it was zoned multifamily. So we partitioned the lot, which at the time I didn't even know what that meant. So I learned a lot.
I know what that means because my building had that happen as well.
Right. So we partition the lot so each family will actually own their side.
Property.
Exactly. Their side of the house. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So
and how it works.
Yes,
so we
how it
look
works.
at 3 things when evaluating whether or not a family is going to be a partner family. And again, I say family, and I need to stop saying that because there is no requirement that you have to have children.
Right.
And that's a misconception.
Yeah.
You just have to fit within the income requirements and the things. So we look at need, ability to pay, and willingness to partner. So the need is, where are they currently living?
Right.
Why do they need a home? Is their rent too high? Are they sharing housing? Are they homeless? I mean, there's a million different things that
Which,
really
by the way,
cause need.
homeless, as Erin said yesterday,
Yes,
there are
very
federal definitions. If you have a job and you are living on a couch, it's like maybe you're staying at your friend's house and you're staying on their couch or in their guest room, but you are not on the lease, or you are not where you could be evicted at any time, that is considered homelessness.
Right. It's a much broader definition than what
you
we
would think. Right. Because I think a lot of people think homelessness, you're living in a tent.
Right.
Also, if you are living in an RV, if you're dry camping and there's no water or electrical hookups, that is considered homelessness. So if you're staying in an RV park, that doesn't technically fall, for CARES purposes, fall under the federal definition of homelessness because they have water and sewer hookups or whatever and electrical. But if you're out at a campsite or up in the woods or even on somebody's property and there's not those basic RV hookups, then technically that's considered homelessness. I didn't know that.
Right. So we look at the situation. We actually have a family selection committee that goes in and does a home visits all of our top qualifying families. So we look at the need for housing. The ability to pay is really the place that we have to evaluate first. So we don't want to set anybody up for failure. We need to make sure that they are ready to sustain a mortgage. Because again, this is not a free house. Habitat for Humanity offers a hand up, not a handout.
Right.
And so we offer an affordable mortgage based on 30% of their income. So incredible. I mean, really, really, this is affordable housing.
And by the way, I did find that statistic. Now this was from a study that was done in 2017. 70% of people in this community at that time were currently paying more than 1/3 of their income for housing.
Wow.
70%.
Wow.
Now that could be like 35% of their income, but still that's kind of the general guideline is your mortgage or your rent should be about a third of your monthly income.
Right. Right. And so we make that possible.
Right.
At Habitat, we really are able to say that we offer affordable housing solutions. And so we look at need, ability to pay. So the ability to pay part, again, is where most families or individuals are kind of out of the running. So maybe their credit is shot or maybe their debt is too high. So what we've done is we've partnered with TLC of a division of Fiber Federal Credit
I totally
Union.
wrote down a note to make sure we talked about the financial TLC classes.
That. So they have been just such an increased partner this year. They've always been a partner with us, but this year it's just been so incredible. So we started offering free financial education classes. We did a series of 3 these past 3 months, and we'll start up again January, February, March.
Oh, cool. I was going to ask if you were going to do some more.
We don't have dates yet, but we'll definitely get those out. But we had 35 people sign up. I mean, it was just incredible, the numbers of people who really wanted to invest in getting their finances in order. And then from there, we also invited at the very last one, which was on home ownership. We have a family informational coming up that will allow people to come and learn about our Habitat programs, and we'll be posting those dates soon. And then the last thing we look at is a family or an individual's willingness to partner, because Habitat, they are required to do what's called sweat equity.
Sure.
And it's 500 hours of sweat equity per family or individual, but we break it down into 200 hours per adult living in the household.
Gotcha.
And the reason we do that is because for the single mom, she shouldn't be required to do the same.
500 hours,
right.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is it's per adult in the household. So for Amanda, for example, she will do 200 hours of her own sweat equity, and then she can have 300 hours donated.
Gotcha.
So
of other people coming to help.
And that, I mean, it's amazing what we can count for sweat equity. So her babysitter is willing to donate her babysitting services while Amanda's on the build site.
Sure.
That counts.
Gotcha.
That's giving back. That's helping her be able to get in her hours. And so anybody who knows Amanda, family, friends, or anybody in the community who wants to donate towards her sweat equity can come out on a build site. And
that's awesome.
It's amazing how many hours a group can acquire in a day.
Right. So who are the other, we've talked about Amanda, who's the other family
so
involved?
We have David Wickersham and Misty Wagner, and they have 3 little kiddos that are just adorable and so sweet. We recently had a dinner just to get the 2 families together because
they're going to be neighbors.
Right. And that was my favorite part of the whole evening. We're walking down the stairs getting ready to do a little picture op, and 2 of the girls look over at each other and she said, "I can't wait to be your neighbor." And I was like,
cute.
"Oh, my heart."
Tears.
My heart. So they'll be building alongside of each other, and our goal is just to cultivate a relationship, because how neat to experience that with your neighbor.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. You're moving in next to someone who's gone through the exact same same experience that you have, and they have kids.
Right.
So now, you've got a nice little community there.
It's going to be fantastic.
That's awesome.
We're very, very excited for these families, and we'll be getting them on a show soon so they can kind of share their testimony.
Yeah, that'd be great. You are looking to build in Hebo next, which is really cool, because have all of your houses been in Central County?
So we've actually been moving down.
Okay.
So we actually started in Wheeler.
Oh,
so
wow.
we've had, this was a long time ago, way before me, 20 years ago. And then Wheeler, and then the majority of our homes the past 14 years have been in Bay City.
Okay.
So Bay City, and then our last 2 homes that were already existing homes that we renovated were in central Tillamook. So then we'll do these 2 attached townhomes, which is funny because all 4 of these houses are literally within a 2-minute drive of each other.
Oh, funny.
They're all just kind of right around where schools are. I mean, just prime spots for people to live. And then our next project will be in Hebo. So I feel like the first time we can actually say Tillamook County Habitat for Humanity, that we've served the full, like a broader scope. But like you said, with property, we want to build even further out, all over our county, but it really depends on if people have property, either they're willing to sell us at a discounted rate, or if they're willing to donate. That is going to be a legacy that they're able to leave behind. We're also really invested in looking at permanent affordability, and I will come back and talk about that in full depth, because it is so amazing, because there's ways that we can make it so that these Habitat homes are forever affordable for generations to come.
That's amazing.
It is.
So the house the build. Nope. I'm going to go a different way. I have so many questions to say. So the houses are houses that already exist that just need to be rehabilitated, right? Maybe they're in foreclosure. Well, you said Wells Fargo donated these on 8th Street, which...
So Wells Fargo donated us a property with a house on it that had sat vacant for 10 years. It was not rehabable. Is that a word?
Yeah.
But it was not
rehabitable.
Rehabitable. It was not rehabitable. So we
rehabbed?
took it down and we demoed it, which there's a great video on our Facebook page at Tillamook Habitat, and shows the demo in like fast mo.
Was it
awesome?
With the thing went down. You know, I just watched videos of like gigantic project buildings being demoed where they like blow them up and then they all.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that didn't happen.
So we
that was
demoed that house, and now we're building 2 new construction homes.
Oh, okay.
But our last 2 homes in Central Oregon have been rehabs.
Central Tillamook, you mean?
Central. Yeah.
You said Central Oregon.
Central Oregon. There's a lot of snow there right now.
You're really expanding here, Cami.
Right? No. Central Tillamook were 2 rehabbed homes.
Okay.
So one was our old affiliate office, our old office for Habitat.
Right.
We turned into a Habitat home.
Yeah.
And then our last one was the first time we ever purchased a home off the market, just purchased a home and rehabbed it. So we are open to looking outside of the box and just, we want to see more affordable housing.
Right.
I mean, that's really, so however, whether that's foreclosures, whether that's donated properties, whether that's donated houses. I mean, people have options of what kind of legacy they want to leave behind. And we would love to get a letter in the mail that someday that says you've been willed over a house.
Right.
I mean, just that would be great. And those are all things that can happen.
And talk about, I mean, that is such a step up for that neighborhood as well. I mean, if there's a house that has been sitting for 10 years, it's got to be so dilapidated and just kind of a drain. Yeah. And, all the properties around it, that property is affecting those property owners' property value.
Yes.
So when you've now demoed a house and are building brand new housing there, that's increasing the value of the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
It's not just about the house. Like, it's bringing more life and value to the neighborhood.
Yes, and we've tried to communicate really well with the neighbors. We had a whole group of people on demo day. We sent a letter to all the neighbors and just said,
taking it down,
come
people.
Bring your popcorn. Let's watch. It's demo day. And so we had a whole group of them out with popcorn, and it was really fun because it is going to be a community effort. Everything that we do at Habitat, I think a lot of people don't know, we are self-funded. We don't get, you don't get
anything from the state or there's no line item budget.
We raise all of our own money. So it is truly a community effort that allows us to build. And I think people think sometimes that we have like all these governmental contracts or state funding. No. Yeah. What we have is what we raise.
Right.
It's a big job.
Which is why the brunch is so important.
Exactly. And this year, just in the auction and sponsorship for the Building on Faith brunch, we were able to bring in over $25,000. We haven't looked at all the numbers of, but we'll get that out soon.
Right.
But 25, that's huge. Where 3 years ago, I think the whole brunch we raised $9,500.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of growth is just a testimony to our community. And I just want to read this off. Our house level sponsors were this year, which were $2,500 or above, or Hampton, Fiber Federal Credit Union, Oswego Roofing, Rick Lofton, Gitchell Heating and Cooling, Tillamook Creamery, and then KTIL. And we are just so appreciative of those top sponsors. And then we also have the door level sponsors. We had Mario and Alma Pastega Family Foundation, Haltner, Rosenberg's, Clark's Plumbing, and then our hammer level, we had Les Schwab Tire, Pacific Seafood, Tillamook RV and Repair, Clatsop Distributing, Oregon Home Mortgage, and the Tillamook Headlight Herald. And then a new sponsorship was Palouse, which is a bookkeeping company. So cool. That was pretty exciting to get. We had 2 new sponsors this year that we'd never had a relationship with. So we were pretty pleased, and that brought in over $17,000 in sponsorships.
That's awesome. Wow. That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
I have to take a quick break, and I'm going to talk about Clark's Plumbing. Do you know one of those do-it-yourself kind of guys are always telling you to do it yourself? Well, sometimes that isn't the best solution. You're in luck, whether it's a leaky faucet, a complete bathroom remodel, or maybe replacing that septic system. Do yourself yourself a favor, call Clark's Plumbing. They're professionals. They'll get the job done. Anything, new installations, upgrades, that stopped up drain, you name it, they can do it. So the next time you hear do it yourself, do yourself a favor and call 842-5105. That's 842-5105 for the professionals at Clark's Plumbing. I'm talking with Cami Aufdermauer from Habitat for Humanity, and I wanted to mention Giving Tuesday because we're about running out of time here.
Pretty amazing that today's Giving Tuesday.
That's kind of so we have Thanksgiving, and then for how I don't even know when Black Friday,
Monday,
Black Friday started, and then Saturday is Small Business Saturday.
Right.
There's nothing on Sunday. Sunday is your day of family time.
Well, that was our brunch.
Well, yes, right. And then Monday is Cyber Monday. And so after all of that push for spending, there is a little push for some generosity and giving. And so the Tuesday, I believe it is the first Tuesday in December is considered Giving Tuesday. So some years that will actually not fall like right behind Thanksgiving. But I wanted to read a little thing here about Giving Tuesday because it is a somewhat new movement. I believe, it's only been around for about 7 years. Giving Tuesday is a global generosity movement, unleashing the power of people and organizations to transform their communities and the world. It was created in 2012 as a simple idea. Do you know that a YMCA in New York actually started it?
Oh, that's
the
so
92nd
cool.
Street, YMCA. It was created in 2012 as a simple idea, a day that encourages people to do good. Over the past 7 years, the idea has grown into a global movement that inspires hundreds of millions of people to give, collaborate, and celebrate generosity. One of the best ways to get involved in your own community, they've created a directory to help you find organizations, events, and ways to give back to your own community.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, Facebook, did you know Facebook was matching donations today?
I saw something about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, kind of annoying because they started at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and within the first hour, they hit their $7 million match. Well, that's 5 o'clock in the morning here.
Oh, no.
So by the time, I'm doing a fundraiser for the group that I'm involved in, and by the time I did it at 6:30, they'd already met their match. I'm like, really? So
good. I'm not missing out.
No, you're not missing out on the Facebook match.
So
but yes, they still can give.
Our Facebook, we just put a post up on our Facebook that you can go through to give. But really the easiest way to donate to Habitat for Humanity is at TillamookHabitat.org. There's just a click donate, and then it takes a couple, 2 minutes to fill out your information. You can become a monthly donor, or you can give a one-time gift, and anything is appreciated. Again, there is such a need in our community in Tillamook County for increased affordable housing, and not even to mention, I know we're running out of time, but besides our homeownership program, we also have a Ramps and Rails program that serves seniors, people with disabilities, and veterans through in-home safety modifications. And we are now working on we are serving our 23rd participant through that program in 2 very short years. So we've been able to bring in almost $100,000 in grant funding to be able to support aging in place in Tillamook County. And it's a huge deal. These are life-changing things.
Right.
Being able to allow people to safely age in their home, being able to allow people to come home from the hospital because they now have grab bars installed so that they can get in and out of their house.
Yeah, and some of it is very simple things like that.
Yes.
Or fixing a roof. Or I think that at one point you said that there was a wall that made a home somewhat like the person couldn't go back to their home because the hospital said that's not safe. And so they just fixed a wall.
No, it was a handrail. It was a $25 handrail and 1 hour of volunteer labor. This man was able to go home from the hospital and not be sent.
It's amazing that that's what's stopping some people. You know what I mean? It just seems so simple, but to some people it's not.
Right.
It's not simple.
Right.
I know, and I can't remember where I saw it, but I know maybe on your Facebook page you had listed out a list of kind of all of the projects, or maybe, it was an email. I think I'm on the Habitat email.
Constant Contact.
Yes. Mailing list. And there was an email that you had sent out maybe a month ago that listed, here are all the projects that we are aware
working
of.
On, yes. We are currently working on 7 projects.
Yeah. And here are for Ramps and Rails.
Ramps and Rails. And we also are building a community room. And then we are also working on our 2 attached townhomes.
And so it listed kind of like what the status was, what the cost was, what Josh had gone out and done. Some he had just reviewed the plans, but hadn't really been able to go do a site visit. And I thought that was really cool. You should put that on your Facebook page.
I will definitely put that.
Or put it on your website or something. Because it was really cool. And it was nice to see like,
where we're at.
Oh, Yeah, exactly.
And we put on there, here's how many day commitment. If you're wanting to get involved, this will be a 1 to 3 day commitment. This will be a 7-day commitment, just depending on people's needs.
Yeah, it was a really great
We are ready for
info.
volunteers. Now that we have a full-time construction manager, thanks to some amazing partnerships, one being the Creamery, who's helping pay for that position this year, we are ready for volunteers. We are ready to get hammers in hands, and we are ready to hit the streets and make a big impact in this community.
Right.
It's needed, and we really want to help make the cost of home something everyone can afford.
That's so awesome. What is your website?
TillamookHabitat.org.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure I didn't say it wrong.
Very user-friendly. If you go on there, there's a donate button and you're able to click on that, and within a couple minutes you can have your Giving Tuesday goals met by donating to Tillamook Habitat. And we will definitely put your money to use helping change lives in our community.
Also on the website you can see information about home ownership if you want to learn more about that program. I believe there's also a volunteer tab somewhere, right?
Yes, there
Get
is.
involved.
Get involved.
You can learn about volunteering, and I did want to mention the Restore.
We can never not mention the Restore.
Tons of Christmas stuff out.
Oh, it's just yes,
Christmas,
they put
Christmas everywhere.
So we had a huge sale. We did Black Friday, and there's still a ton of stuff. Obviously, we pick up new donations daily. If people are interested in donating, we do have a free donation.
That's where I was
pickup,
going.
Right?
Yep.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I segue. I was trying to steer you in that direction, but yes, you can do.
Yes.
So while you're putting your Christmas decor out, if you're like, you know what, because I do this, I look like, okay, what haven't I put out in a couple years? All right. This year, I'm putting out almost nothing because we're going to be gone. But
well, and the Restore really provides it's our number one fundraising stream. It brings in the most unrestricted funding that we can use to support our programs. And the great thing is when you donate there, it really is going back into our community. So it's exciting, and free donation pickups if you have something that's bigger than,
which is kind of a really big thing.
It's a big deal.
It's somewhat of a pain in the butt to load up your car and take it down somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, we always love if you want to drop it off.
Sure. It's not that you can't. And there's also some adorable. Is it Melissa? Is she the one that restores like?
Yes, all of our staff help with that. And we actually have a grant in right now to be able to increase that program. So you'll be able to see even more redone furniture.
Some beautiful hutches and desks. And I was in your office and I noticed you have is that a restored desk, your little hutch thing?
The green one. Yes, it is. Did you see my sparkly wall also?
I did not.
I have a sparkle wall.
Oh.
Compliments of Rosenberg's.
Is it paint? Glitter paint?
Yes. It's awesome.
Furniture, home decor, also windows, doors, and so much more. We're open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and donations can be dropped off at that time. Or if you want to schedule a free donation pickup, you can go to tillamookhabitat.org, and it's really easy. Yep, it's right there at the top.
While you're there, go ahead and donate to Giving Tuesday to be able to help make a difference in making the cost of home something everyone can afford in Tillamook County.
Hey, thanks for coming in. I'm excited to talk to you. You said Amanda's going to come in next time? That'll be fun. Let's see. Tomorrow we'll have the Tillamook Health Center here. Don't forget senior meals, noon every weekday at the Kiowanda Community Center in Pacific City, the Tillamook Senior Center at 4th and Stillwell, as well as Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Nehalem Bay Methodist Church. Cost is $3 for seniors and $6.75 for everyone else. It's holiday time, so of course there's a lot going on right now. All of this is on Saturday, with the exception there's a couple bazaars that are also on Friday. Breakfast with Santa on Saturday at the Creamery. That runs from 8:30 to 10, and then Santa's going to head over to the Air Museum. He will also be there with the Grinch for photos with Santa and the Grinch from 10 to 2. There is a holiday craft and sing-along at the library that starts at 4 on Saturday. And then here are all the holiday bazaars. Church of Nazarene is having a holiday bazaar on Friday from 2 to 7, but also Saturday from 9 to 3. Tillamook United Methodist Church is having a bazaar on Friday from 4 to 7, and also Saturday 9 to 3. 9 to 3 at the Kiowanda Community Center, and also Beaver Grade School, and 9 to 3 at St. Albans in Tillamook. It seems like 9 to 3 is a very popular time on Saturday for bazaars. Saturday, there's also a holiday farmers market at the White Clover Grange from 10 to 3. There's over 25 different farm and artisan vendors showcasing their handmade and homegrown goods. And it's the first Saturday of December, so that means it's Tillamook tree lighting time. The Tillamook tree lighting and light parade will be held This Saturday on 2nd Street Plaza, the tree lighting festivities start at 3:30, with the tree lighting actually happening around 5:30, and the light parade will follow right after. I don't need any more light parade entries. I can delete that off. I have a lot. I'm
great.
excited. Yeah. And then Sunday, United Paws is having a Home for the Holidays Adopt-a-thon from 1 to 4 in Rockaway Beach at 268 South Anchor Street. Cami, thanks again for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you, Tillamook, for listening.